Ross Eadie is with us this morning, Winnipeg City Councillor for the Mynarski Ward. Good morning.
Good morning, Marcy.
What would it take to turn empty lots on that stretch of Main Street into more housing, in your view?
Well, Astrid mentioned the Housing Accelerator Fund. Just so you know, although this building has not been torn down, you're familiar with the church that burnt. Right in front of it at Main Street is another building that really is ready to be torn down and build something new. So there was a developer I met with who was looking at building housing there with commercial on the main floor and then 3 floors of affordable housing, also with some, mixed affordable housing. And their application, it was outside of downtown. It wasn't successful, but I think it was reported in the news. There was over 200 applications. So the Housing Accelerator Fund can be part of the solution, but what it requires is the private sector, developers, whoever, who want to come forward and build the housing and maybe at the lower level some commercial. But Astrid wasn't asked is true. It's hard to get a business to move into that section on Main Street because there's a lot of different kinds of crime and violence, and customers don't feel comfortable.
What about from a business point of view of, their investment, getting a return on their investment for a business, or whether they're developing a housing for people? What can the city do to sort of entice developers to an area of Winnipeg where, as she outlined, she sometimes, you can't get insurance even? Is there something that the city can do to help spur more investment?
Well, I think you heard, we just passed our city budget. I think you've heard that the city is really short on money because of past decisions or what have you. It doesn't matter. The reality is right now we have huge needs for money to be able to provide the services that Winnipeggers depend on. So, I mean, we could try to provide more incentives. This is more vacant, derelict housing where, we could provide some grants of, say, $18,000 because renovations are very expensive now. In terms of the private dwellers, I mean, the new owner who is going to be taking title was talking about doing housing in the old building. Well, it would have taken a lot of money, and they're looking for subsidies is really what it is. And again, we have federal dollars called the Housing Accelerator Fund. There's also the Rapid Housing. I think that's almost over, and that has seen some buildings on Main Street or close to Main Street turned into housing. So really, other than providing some direct incentives, I guess you could provide some tax incremental financing or something like that, but it requires private investors. And I said, Marcy, I explained this to you back in 2010 when I was first elected on Selkirk Avenue at the Windmill.
Yeah.
Until we resolve the social issues, the ills all around, like Main Street where we are right now, or on Selkirk, until we resolve that, private investors aren't coming in.
So let me play you something else from Astrid Lichty. And yes, we did speak at the Windmill. That was like 15 years ago. And we've spoken over the years, Councillor Eadie, because it has been an ongoing challenge, of course. But there have been solutions that some in the area say have worked in the past, sort of to improve things. I just want to play you 30 more seconds of Astrid because she was bringing up initiatives that she actually would like to see returned. Here's what she said.
About 25 years ago, with the arsons that were happening in the spate of the North End, hundreds of thousands of dollars went into programs such as the COPP program through MPIC and other foot patrol programs working with Winnipeg Police. There was a special arson squad. MPIC had a special stolen automobile squad, and we had patrol officers. And also police and schools. So it was a multi-pronged approach, and it really made a dent. It made a difference.
I know those initiatives, as she said, I appreciate they're 25 years ago, but do you think there are initiatives that you would like to see back that could improve the situation in your area?
Well, let me talk about that because, like, foot patrols and that. 25 years ago, we had a huge vacant derelict arson problem. with not so much on Main Street, but more in the residential areas adjacent. Today, we have the Mama Bear Clan who do some patrolling in the area. I'm not sure about the Bear Clan since they moved off of Selkirk Avenue. Some people have said they haven't seen them that much, but we know they're out there working in the North End because I have friends who volunteer for the Bear Clan. So, and we had ambassador programs over the years for the business. So, I mean, those things help, but like, what are you doing? You got people with severe addictions. You're wasted on meth, and you come into a restaurant almost totally naked, and you steal some car keys, and you take off with somebody's motor vehicle. That's happened on Main Street. So, like, how do you do it? Foot Patrol isn't necessarily going to be able to deal with that. Now, we have a number of issues, a number of initiatives now coming from the province to deal with those social ills. We could use more Foot Patrol. I think the Winnipeg Police Service is restoring Foot Patrol back to Main Street and Selkirk Avenue. I hope. There's not enough, as a matter of fact. So we do need more of that. We have the new transit security happening, and they're going to have to spend a lot of time. They have to spend a little time on the streets around the bus stops too, because there's lots of crime and stuff happening there and on the buses. So, I mean, there's things happening. We could use more. With the Selkirk Avenue Biz, the North End Biz hasn't really been at this meeting, but West Broadway is looking at trying to combine a bunch of various business improvement zones to see if we can't pool some money so that we could have patrols like they do downtown.
Thank you very much, Councillor Eadie. Obviously, we'll speak again about this, and thank you for telling us about some of the efforts that are being already made in your ward.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk to you again.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Ross Eadie giving us an update on some of the initiatives and also some of the challenges they're facing in that part of Winnipeg. He's a city councillor for the Minarski ward. And if you want to hear the interview Corey did with Astrid Lichty, longtime business owner on Main Street, that aired Friday, and you can hear it on our app.